Welcome to What the Health? Where anything health is fair game as we tackle the trends and bust the myths about health and wellness. Here are your hosts, Dr. Dan and Angela Toro.
And welcome to another episode of What the Health podcast. I am Dr. Dan here with two of my co-hosts,
Angela
and Dr. Riley.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Do the disclaimer.
You guys know the drill. We're here for informational purposes only, in no way offering individualized medical advice. Always talk to your trusted healthcare provider before making changes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Yeah, so do that.
Yeah. Although I don't think we're saying anything.
I don't know.
I don't
we might
know.
be censored for this information that we're going to talk about today.
Real hot topic here.
Real hot. Literally. Oh, she had to go there. We're talking about hydration today. It's funny because when we start to develop and talk about what to talk about on these podcasts, we're like, don't we talk about this all the time?
Which, again, we probably have in almost every in every overarching topic. One of the things we always talk about is make sure you're staying hydrated. But
yes, we're in a massive heat wave right now in the Northeast, and so thought it would be nice public advice, public
service announcement.
Yes.
Please
drink
stay
your water.
Hydrated.
And that's it. We'll be back next time.
See, that's great. Oh, that would have been...
Sorry. No, go ahead, Angela. She's going to do her spiel. She's going to get on her soapbox here about drinking more water.
Yeah, drinking water and drinking water, actual water.
No. So not the ice in my coffee doesn't count.
I just finished my coffee too. Again, no. Honestly, it amazes me the number of people who don't drink anywhere near what they should. So we just came out of May. Either is National Drink Water Month or we just made it. Yeah, okay.
I think it was a day and we just made it.
Yeah,
somebody has to do it.
So May at the office, we always do Drink Water Month, and just again as that reminder. But now that we're heading into apparently what is going to be a very hot summer because it's mid-June and we're having these weeks straight of 90 degrees, high humidity.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think we're hitting some records this week in terms of the number of days in a row of highs, both the high and the low temperature as being high.
Yeah, so the first thing people always ask is how much water should I drink? Because you hear so many different things. You hear, it used to be the 8 glasses a day, then it was 10, then it's half your body weight in ounces, and then it's, so I tell people what I was taught was 2.7 liters of fluids for women and 3.7 for men. Now that includes fluids you get from watery foods, that would include your coffee, so that's fluids. So when you take that into account, that's kind of where the 8 to 10 cups of water is coming from. I think the half your body weight for the average person is a good number. The problem with that is if you get somebody that's very overweight, overly fat, you're going to be too much. Yeah. So what I tell people is if you think about your kind of, I guess what your ideal weight, and then that's really the amount. Because again, if you have more muscle, you need more water. But if you have excess fat, you don't necessarily need you don't need more hydration for that. So that's where it just becomes a little bit tough to play around with. But yes, for the average person, half your weight in ounces. So, 200-pound person, you're looking at 100 ounces. And again, 8 ounces is, considered that's a cup, which again, to me,
small.
So we keep the little bottle. So if you think of a typical, a water bottle you would go grab at a gas station or something is 16.9 ounces. That's basically 2 servings. We get the little ones here at the office, and I'm like, oh my god,
that's actually what the ounces is.
That's so cute.
Well, even our coffee cups, right?
Yeah.
We have gigantic coffee cups, and it's like, I'm only having one cup of coffee, but a cup of coffee I think is 6 to 8 ounces or something.
The American cup of coffee.
Yeah, an American cup of coffee is 2 cups.
You guys got me the Nespresso for Christmas, and I the first time I made that, I'm like, this is so tiny, and I'm like, oh, this is a cup of coffee. I'm like, this is what a cup of coffee is supposed to be. I was like, I need 2 or 3. But no, so we actually, for the month of May, we had the the bottles sitting out to show how many of those you would need to drink. And it's, if you think of it in that way, it's really not that much. I mean, you should be able to pick up one of those little bottles and chug that down. But for some reason, when people hear like 80 ounces or 100, they're like, oh my gosh, that's
so much water.
So I tell people pick, I don't ever drink out of a cup. I always drink out of my water bottle. So get yourself a nice stainless steel water bottle that you know the ounces of, whether it's, 24, 32. I had to go up to a 40 because I drink so, but yeah, so I'm sitting here with my giant water. It doesn't even fit in the cup holder, but I know it's 40 ounces. I'm very active, so I drink 3 of these a day because that gets me my base amount, and then you need more if you're active and sweating. So again, get yourself a known amount, have that with you, and just know how many times you need to refill that. And then the more you do it, it just becomes habit. So I know, like, I'm going to have my first one finished before lunch. Yeah. So right there, I'm off to a good start. And then, second one throughout the afternoon, third one throughout the evening. So it's just, and sometimes that third, it's so when you get into that habit, you just don't think about it. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. If you're out and about running around and you don't have the water with you, it makes it a lot harder. So
it's a good reminder also, like, you're carrying this water bottle, you're like, oh, maybe I should drink this. Yeah. Even if you're not thirsty, because, if you're thirsty, you're way behind your schedule of drinking for the day. So
if it's again like 10 o'clock. If it's 10 o'clock and you're going, have I had any water today? Like you're already well on your way to being dehydrated.
I had my iced coffee. No, one tip that I find extremely helpful, and I tell patients this all the time, is especially the ones that wake up and they're like, I just feel like I'm always stiff in the morning. It's like, okay, well, first of all, you're dehydrated because you haven't had any water for the last 8 to 10 hours. So it's like, get up. You haven't moved for the last 8 to 10 hours being in bed. So it's like, get up, and before you start doing anything, before coffee hits your lips, before you do anything else, you should have 16 to 20 ounces of water. And if you're a decent, gulper, you can get that down pretty easily inside of, 15 minutes, So it's like, just go to that first before while you're making your coffee, right? Fill up your coffee pot or whatever. I do French press, so you gotta turn on the boil the water first. So it's like, whatever you're doing to prep your tea or prep your water, your beverage of choice in the morning. Erin and I always argue over this. Yeah. My wife and I are, tea versus coffee in the house. And she always jokes that she wants to start a tea shop and just have the old crappy cup of coffee in the corner, because that's what the majority of coffee shops do to tea drinkers, where it's like, beautiful coffee drinks and this, and here's some crap tea in the corner, and wait, I gotta boil the water for you, or here's the 5-day-old iced tea that's been half warmed up. Like, so in any event, what was I saying with that? You were
saying, while you're getting your caffeine,
while you're getting your beverage of choice.
What was I saying? Drink water.
Drink more water. Just get up and drink that. Again, this time of year, it's a lot more on the mind, right? If it's easy to enjoy a really cold water beverage, when it's 90 degrees outside, and it's like you walk outside and you start sweating. It's reminding me of our time down in Georgia, right, for school. That was the big reason. One of the big reasons. We wanted to move back to family, but it's like I could not stand, basically from May through September, when you're down in Georgia or below, it's like you walk outside and you're literally walking into a wall of water. So, instantly start sweating. So, but that's what you're feeling now across, a lot of states as we go into summer. So it's easy to drink that, but it's a lot harder when it's cold outside. You have cool, crisp mornings, or
if you're inside in the AC all day, you might not. Yeah. So again, it's hot. True. It's hot outside, but if you're if you work from home, or you're just, you're like, oh, I'm not going out, so you're hunkered down and you crank the AC.
70 degrees.
All of a sudden, you'll forget that how hot it is. So. Yeah. But that with the high heat and high humidity, you really want to make sure you're staying hydrated, especially if you're if you are crazy and doing anything outside this week, doing the yard, I know it's like everyone's like, oh, well, it's gonna be nice, so I have to get my yard work done. And
don't do it in the middle of the day.
Do not do it in the middle of the day, and yes, make sure you are getting lots and lots of water.
But it's important to understand. Just we wanted to really help people understand the importance of the electrolytes too, right?
I was gonna say which one. Yeah,
about that.
That brings up the next point. Electrolytes.
What plants crave.
What plants crave.
Sorry, it's from a movie, Idiocracy. If you've never seen it, we absolutely recommend it.
Highly recommend.
It's absolutely hysterical. It's very vulgar, but just totally funny and ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, so yes, electrolytes, super important, also have become a super marketed buzzword to the point that I said I was going nuts the other day. I see a commercial I didn't even see a commercial. I saw it in the store. I walked down to the gas station to I was actually looking for something with electrolytes because I had a stomach bug, and of course I was out of my electrolytes at home. And I see Gatorade with electrolytes. Like, this is how it was marketed. Gatorade with electrolytes. And, like, in the gas station, I think I actually yelled, like, what the... because that was supposed to be Gatorade's thing for always was that they were... Drink. We're a sports drink. We have electrolytes, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like... So now you were basically admitting that was not true, and you are now marketing something. And guess what? The Gatorade with I got it. The Gatorade with electrolytes tastes disgusting because that's what electrolytes don't taste great.
Taste good,
electrolytes are minerals.
Yes.
Like, if you've
salty.
If you've ever had mineral water, it's like it tastes like mineral. It's not sweet. It's not
earthy.
It's very it's very earthy. I feel like we're doing a wine tasting right now or something. Like, it's a little minerality on the palate. But so actual straight minerals taste like minerals.
Try it for yourself.
Yeah. Now, and that's actually the type of electrolytes I recommend. So the ones I use are called Light Show, Lyte, so like the end of electrolyte, Light Show. You can get them on I've only ever found them on Amazon. They might be in stores, I don't know. But it literally comes in a little, looks like an eyedropper, and you just put a little capful in your water. And those are great because it's just the minerals. It doesn't have sugar, no artificial colors, flavors. It is just the minerals. So again, it makes your water taste minerally, but those I highly recommend. And if you are going out and buying the ones that are marketed, again, trying to find the ones that don't have all the added stuff in it. Check the sugar. Always check the sugar. If you're buying anything marketed as with electrolytes, check the sugar because again, these companies that produce this stuff aren't dumb. They know that electrolytes don't taste good. Yeah. So they load it up with sugar so it tastes good, and they load it up with colors so it looks pretty so that people want to buy it and drink it. But because they did put the, electrolytes in it, which usually is sodium and a little bit of potassium, maybe, they can market it as with electrolyte. Because sodium is an electrolyte, so technically anything with sodium they can say with electrolyte. Soda technically has electrolytes in it.
There you go.
I'm like,
oh boy, there's the next marketing
God.
gig. Pepsi with electrolytes.
Yeah,
Coke with electrolytes.
but just be very, very careful to watch that word because it's just has become another marketing, like gluten-free. It's like, oh, it must be healthy. No.
It's all natural.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So my question is, did the Gatorade have sugar in it?
The Gatorade with electrolytes had, I don't know if it was no sugar, but it was low. It was like it was one of the better ones I could find. It was pink, so it still had some kind of color in it. But again, I'm like coming off of day 2 of nothing in my system, so I'm like, I need.
And again, that's a circumstance that would be okay to have a little sugar.
Dr. Riley's pulling something up over here.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at one of the big name brands.
The liquid IV hydration.
They have a no sugar one. I don't know what the content of that, but the liquid IV, just straight up regular branding, is 22%. 11 grams of added sugar, so 22% of your daily value, and like potassium, you only get 8% of your daily value. I don't even see magnesium.
No, and that's a big one
And
that
that one's
they
huge.
count. Yeah.
I don't even throw that in there. So sodium, 22%, but
If we were to pick one mineral that the majority of people are deficient in, I would probably say it's magnesium. People do not get enough magnesium. Everyone gets potassium because that's the go-to, right? Like, oh yeah, my blood pressure is high, or or my water balance is off, so I need to be on a potassium pill.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times you do that because you're on a blood pressure medication, which is it's pushing. Yeah, it's a diuretic, so it's pushing that fluid and electrolyte out of you. So it's like you need to be on a replacement for it. But that's, if you're on any sort of medication, I mean, you need to be making sure that you're getting, your proper electrolyte balance. And magnesium is by far one of the biggest shortages. You can get it naturally in a lot of different nuts. I know Brazilian nuts are probably some of the most highly concentrated, but there's a lot of different nuts that have good high quality, electrolyte, minerals in them, but again,
it's not the kind of stuff we tend to eat a lot of in this,
and
this country.
And there's so many different companies out there. You mentioned the one Light. I know colleagues of ours recommend Element, LMNT.
That's what I use.
Yeah, that's what you use.
It's very salty tasting, but it's not sweet. That's how I know it's decent for you. It's not sweet.
That's exactly.
And if you look at the the labels, there's no artificial anything in it. It's and actually they have some flavors to theirs too.
They add flavors to them. I would have to do more research on seeing how they add the flavors, but it's not a sweet.
No, it's not a sweet sugary flavor by any means.
And that reminds me, we actually just. Erin's our snack coordinator here at the office, so you can thank her. Yeah, when you guys always come in and thank us for having the snacks out, that's all Erin. She takes care of us at home and at work.
Did you ever hear that story that I got a nickname Snacks? And
because you always.
So we traveled from Atlanta to Dr. Jimmy's office in Burlington, New Jersey. That was my main mentor in school, who taught me the system of analysis. But anyway, we rented a big van, and like 6 of us, we drove from Atlanta up to New Jersey, like 14 hours, to go to a seminar at his office for the weekend. So in doing that, Erin packed snacks, not just for me, but for the entire car. And so Dr. Mello, he gave me the nickname Snacks because of all the snacks that I had to share because of my wonderful wife. So start calling me Dr. Snacks.
Yeah. But she found for our Drink Water Month these true. So this one's true lemon, but there was also lime. I think there was even a grapefruit or orange one. But they're basically zest. They're made from real lemon, so 0 calories, 0 sugars, unsweetened. And you can they're little packets you can add to your water. So if you do use the true electrolytes that give it that more mineral taste, and you're like, oh, I can't drink this, especially if you're not a big water drinker to begin with, that can be a very off-putting taste. Adding something like that, even adding something like that to your regular water, if you're not a big water person, can just give it that little flavor without, again, adding the sugar to it and all the artificial crap that comes when you're buying the stuff that's marketed out there.
Wow. So, how did I not even see these out? Stuff happens in my office.
Hi, welcome to the office.
Welcome to the office. Dr. Dan does all the adjusting, and everything else that goes on behind the scenes. I'm like, what?
They literally have been sitting up by the water for like 2 months now.
Well, I'm going to take one of these and make sure I try this out. I'll let you know how it goes. But again, there's no electrolyte in this.
No,
this is just the flavoring. But this could be a nice.
That could be good if your electrolyte water is more mineral than you can handle. That could just take some of the edge off of it. Or again, if you're one of those people that don't like the taste of water, which I don't understand when people tell me personally, but
sometimes water just has a nasty, I'm very picky with my water.
Oh, I'm very picky with my water. That's the other thing I was going to bring up. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, please drink filtered water. We have terrible water here.
Yeah, we're like next to Flint.
Yeah, we're literally
in terms of,
second behind Flint, Michigan in lead content and, God knows what else. And we're a very old city, old pipes.
Yeah,
Even
we're paying massive billions of dollars to fix it.
Yes, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, immediately. Correct.
In fact, it makes me even more nervous, like with all this work going on of
shaking up.
I'm like, so I know you have like a whole filtration.
We have a filter on our sink
which is nice,
and our ice,
which is really nice.
Yes.
But I use zero water filters, which Brittany, who works here, turned me on 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a carbon-based filter like Brita, but Brita, I guess, had 2 layers, and the zero water has like 5 layers. So it does it, and. Personally, when I used a Brita, I couldn't taste the difference between the tap water and the filtered water. The zero water, not only do I taste the difference, I know it immediately when the filter's gone bad.
Yeah, they have a test of
They do.
Yeah, you have a test that you can put in.
She can taste it, though.
That's what I'm saying.
It's almost like...
it gets...
I know exactly what you're talking about. You have to change that filter.
So it's like... And again, with Brita, I'm like, have I changed this filter this year? I'm like, I never noticed.
That's the thing. The zero water is very good
Oh
at that.
my God, the zero... So yes, I've become very, very picky with my water. I'm like, I miss my zero water when I'm traveling.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's been one of the best that I have found. And again, I mean, the filters might be a little on the pricey side, but well worth it to have that good quality water.
Yeah, well, think about what you pay for a bottle of water,
exactly.
How many glasses you're going to get.
And I feel like they last decently long for as much as I go through.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So
yeah, I have to change our filter on our sink for our drinking water and ice. I change that maybe once every 6 months, and there are 5 of us who live in the house, and again it's a 5-stage, but I mean they're huge filters, so it's a 5-stage system. So you only have to replace like the first 3. You're supposed to replace those like every 6 to 12 months, and then like the other the step 4 and 5 you have to replace like once every 3 to 5 years.
So if you own your home, those would definitely, I would think, it would be worth looking into the investment. I know they even have whole
house filters, and I get it. Like my mentor, Dr. Bob DiMaria, he talks about this all the time because if you're showering and especially you take hot showers, like, and there's a lot of chlorine because they're trying to keep it safe. There's there's a reason why we have a lot less infectious diseases now from 100 to 100 years
or from non-developed countries.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because we have filtrated chlorinated water that keeps that stuff out. But that chlorine also, talking about electrolytes, that chlorine actually leaches a lot of other electrolytes and puts an undue stress on your system. So when you're showering with it, when you're bathing with it, especially when you shower and it gets hot, you're breathing that vapor in, that does have an impact on your body. So there are a lot of people that have shower filters.
We're not telling you to not shower, by the way.
No, we're not. But again, I mean, that takes it to another level.
Yeah.
Again, I think there's a lot of steps that people can take. Again, someone who is 100, 200 pounds overweight, it's like, don't worry about your shower filter. Let's go out and take a walk on a daily basis. There's a lot more.
It's prioritized.
Yeah, there's a lot more. That's like the pinnacle of hey, I want to be optimally healthy, and I've changed everything else. Let's change the shower filter now. Like that's the next step if you're trying to be that absolute perfect cleansing environment. But again, it's like you're always we live in nature. Hopefully, to some extent, we live in nature, and it's like there's always going to be some level of toxicity that our body has a filter for. It's called your liver and your skin and your lymphatic system. Like you have a natural filtration system in your body. So again, a lot of people are trying to, not add those undue toxins to their system by, having these other artificial systems to weed stuff out. So again, I get it. It's a balance. It's a prioritization, like you said. But I think that shower filter is probably, the very end of the line. But absolutely,
but
the water you're drinking, that's much more concentrated. That's much more of a volume that you're saving yourself.
That's going through your whole system too. That's and then the other just kind of PSA I mentioned get a good stainless steel water bottle.
Yeah.
And because that's the thing, especially this time of year, please do not leave plastic water bottles in your car when it's 90 degrees outside, so the inside of your car is 120. Yeah. And if you do have a water bottle you left in the car, do not drink it. Those plastics, even though, you know, they've done a lot of work over the years with the BPA free, there's still there's so many toxins in plastic that when it gets heated, leach into the water. Yep. So you really, really want to be careful with that. I still remember a time a friend of mine picked me up somewhere in the summer and had a water bottle. I could have burned myself with this water bottle. I'm like, please tell me you don't drink this. He's like, oh, like if it's, no. No.
Smack it out. Dump it out.
So yeah, just, it's, you know, that's one thing in the winter to, you know, if you forget and leave your bottle in the car, but that's why I love the stainless steel, because I can, if I'm running around, I can leave it in the car. One, it keeps the water cold, and two, it keeps it safe. So, very important. And I even I have a smaller one that I use when I hike. It's like, yeah, it adds a little bit of weight, but I prefer that just to know that it's, again, staying cold.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah, absolutely worth it. So.
Yeah. So good. And again, just to summarize the electrolytes, I remember hearing years ago, it's like the salt in your system, which are, your electrolytes, your sodium, your potassium, your magnesium, that concentration of electrolytes is what drives water across the cell membrane. So that's what is important to make sure that you have good, healthy establishment. And again, your body holds that in a very, very tight ratio. If you have a cellular membrane that gets out of balance in terms of the positive, negative concentration inside and out of it, it will die. Your body very, very tightly regulates that, but again, that's where you can have, sick, damaged cells that just get out of control because of, not having the good concentrations. Or what will happen is, if you don't have good, healthy, minerals in your body, it's going to take them from the largest source that your body stores them, and that's your bones, right? So if you're not consuming good, healthy electrolytes in your diet or in your water, then, eventually, and again, takes 30, 40 years for you to get to a point of like actual diagnosable bone degeneration. Yeah. But, you will get there if you do that, if you're constantly day in and day out not getting good, healthy concentration of electrolytes. So, and especially if you're trying to be active and you're sweating that out. If you're, concerned about, that the swelling, if you get swelling, or you're concerned about just making sure that the water that you are consuming does end up getting to the cells, because if the water doesn't get into the cell, it's of no use to you. Yeah. It has to get into the cell from the stomach to the bloodstream to the cell. And if that water and electrolyte isn't getting there, then again, you're just going to end up filtering it out anyway.
Yeah. So. And that's why we talk about the electrolytes more this time of year, because we're talking about like medications that are diuretic that make you go to the bathroom more, the water's going through you sometimes too quickly to absorb. Same thing if, with the weather, when you're sweating more, that's the other way that we lose water. Yeah. So even if you don't feel like you're sweating, water is evaporating off of you when you walk out in this heat and this humidity. So that's the other reason the electrolytes, again, keep it in your system long enough to actually get to the cells so that it's not going in and immediately going out. Because that's the thing, I notice this time of year, if I'm drinking water all day and don't have the electrolytes in it, I still don't feel properly hydrated. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, one of the doctors in school, Dr. Ravi Kumar, he would say it all the times: water follows sodium. Yep. Mm-hmm. And so you can drink 30 gallons of water a day, but obviously you're not going to be able to do that.
Don't do that. By the way, I know we're not. Don't normally tell you what to do, but don't do that.
But what I'm trying to say out of that is like, if there's nothing added to it, especially in the heat of what we're going to have this week, like it's there's more ways to optimize that and be beneficial, and that is with some of those proper electrolytes that you really do need.
Well, in fact, doing too much water, without the electrolytes, again, you're going to run into other issues.
Yeah, it'll sit in between. It's called your interstitial space, right? You get water between the cells, not in the cells, and that's when you can get swelling in the hands and the feet, the legs.
And that's where you've heard of people who have actually died from overconsumption of water, because that was even pre-TikTok. That was some stupid challenge that was going around. It was like a gallon chugging or something. People were literally 5 gallons. Chugging these. And so
drown themselves.
Yeah, literally drown them internally. Yeah, drown themselves. So you don't want to do that either. But again, it's finding that proper balance. And again, it's either getting the electrolytes from the food or getting them added to the water. But just making sure that you are, if you're constantly peeing to the point that it's like you drink a glass of water and went right through you, well then is that really hydrating you? So,
and that's a good point, because a lot of times if you take electrolytes, you'll find that you won't urinate as much because your body will absorb it better. And then again, if you are active or it's hot outside, you'll sweat more. Okay, so if you're the type of person that doesn't sweat very, very well, that's actually a sign of dysfunction in your body. That's fantastic. Her shirt, she's showing me her shirt. I find your lack of sweat disturbing. Is that from like a Star Wars? It's a spin-off of Star Wars. I mean, I read that in the Darth Vader voice. I find your lack of sweat disturbing.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
It really looks. Yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious because anyone who knows me knows.
But sweating is a very healthy. Again, we talk about body functions. As healthy adaptations, and sweating is a very, very healthy function. If you go outside and you're the type of person that just has very clammy skin all the time, and it takes a while. You're clammy, but it takes a while for you to actually start sweating. That's actually a very dysfunctional sign of body function. So, if you're drinking a lot of water with electrolytes, you'll actually find that you are sweating more efficiently. So you will start sweating sooner, whether you're outside, working out, or if it's just a hot day and you're just walking around and you start sweating. That's what, I always say, people, my office team makes fun of me or it grumbles because I keep the AC pretty cold in the summertime here, just because, I start sweating.
I have been complaining this week.
No, it feels good.
If it gets above like 72, 73 in the office, I very quickly go from, all right, I feel comfortable, to, oh my God, I'm like sweating. So
that's how I am at home. It's like I'm on a third floor, so I can only battle the heat so much. But so I keep my AC set pretty high, to 76, 77, just to take the humidity off. But if I'm if I'm just sitting. But if I start cooking or cleaning, anything where I'm moving around, I'm immediately sweating. I'm like, whatever.
But that's that's a good healthy sign of your body knows what to do and can move water quickly from one area to another. Again, like you mentioned before, if you're just drinking the water and it's going right through you, and it's very light, or very white or clear, then you're not necessarily absorbing that fluid and getting it to where it needs to go. So a better sign of healthy hydration is that you're getting good electrolytes in, and that you're sweating very quickly, especially in a hot environment or activity. If you start noticing that, that's a good healthy sign, versus, oh shoot, I'm just peeing out crystal clear water. But if you take it too far and your urine starts getting dark yellow, if it's really dark yellow or orangish tone, you're way past dehydration. So you need to be getting better hydration in there. So there's definitely signs that you can be looking for. But how quickly you start sweating, the color of your urine, that's all, and the frequency of your urine, all very good indicators of how your hydration is.
And that brings up one other important point I wanted to mention, which is
we need to wrap this up because I gotta go.
I have my electrolytes. No, so again, paying attention to frequency of urination, but if you're drinking things that are artificially speeding that up, then you also need to pay attention to that. So caffeine. So if again, we talk about this time of year, the iced coffee beverages, which is a whole nother podcast that I could go into. But if you're doing a lot of caffeine, or the other, it's summertime. What's the other thing we do a lot more of? Yeah, hey, crack open a nice cold beer. So alcohol also speeds up. Yeah, it dehydrates you. It speeds up urination. Whether or not you believe in the break the seal, it will make you urinate more if you're drinking high amounts of alcohol. It will dehydrate you. So again, especially this time of year, it is so easy to become dehydrated. So between every alcoholic drink, make sure you are doing water. At least a 1-to-1 ratio, because again, you will be peeing all day, but it's well worth it to not completely dehydrate yourself, because especially in this heat, if you're doing a lot of caffeine or a lot of alcohol and not replenishing that water, then you're not going to be happy in the morning. Let's put it that way.
When you can quickly go from feeling fine to like, oh crap, like this is not just a painful situation, but it can be a dangerous situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, absolutely, that 1-to-1 ratio, and again, that's the advantage of going to the lake or the ocean. You don't have to use the bathroom.
Yep.
You use nature's bathroom, right?
Just don't tell the people you're swimming with.
We're very open about it in our family. We're just like, you might want to stay over there.
I'm trying to swim away from the boat.
Then the kids follow you. I'm like, I'm trying to get away.
Well, then they do it next to you.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. That reminds me of that Ron White.
Of course I was saying
it's like that we went down that creek, or we went down that river 8 hours, and not one person had to pee.
Everybody was just peeing on us.
So what he's like, so I finally had to go, and but everyone got mad at me. Of course, I was in a canoe standing up.
So that's on that note.
On that note, hope you have a lovely, healthy, hydrated summer, and get your electrolytes, get your fluids that are non-caffeinated, non-alcoholic, but enjoy those too in a healthy, responsible way.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm Dr. Dan.
Dr. Riley.
And Angela.
See you at the next podcast. If any of this resonated with you, check out more at Turo, Turo, familychiropractic.com, and we'll see you at the next one.
See ya.
You've been listening to What the Health with Dr. Dan and Angela Toro, brought to you by Toro Family Chiropractic. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.whatthehealth.world.